Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. A man can be pulled in by what he sees, but if you want him to stay, you gotta touch what he feels. See, a lot of folks think men are only wired for the physical, but if that's all you bring to the table, you'll only be remembered for the moment, not the lifetime. A man's body can want you today, but his mind, oh, that's the thing that'll keep him coming back tomorrow, next week, and for the rest of his days. Let me break this down for you. People get so wrapped up thinking a man is all about the physical, the looks, the shape, the body. And sure, I ain't gonna lie to you, that's the first thing he notices. That's how God wired him. But if you want to get past the surface and into something that lasts, you got to understand one thing. A man's mind, his heart, his spirit, those are far stronger than his eyes. See, beauty might get his attention, but emotional connection, that's what keeps him there. Now, a man can see 100 pretty faces in his lifetime, but you show me the woman who can make him feel understood, who can make him feel safe to be himself, who can speak to the dreams he's scared to tell the world about. I'll show you the woman who has his loyalty without even asking for it. Because men, real men, don't stay where they're just entertained. They stay where they feel at home. Here's the problem, though. A lot of folks don't build a home, they just decorate the front porch. They work on looking good, sounding sweet, being fun in the moment, and then wonder why the interest fades. Ladies, let me tell you, if all you give a man is the outside, that's all he'll know you for. But if you give him something that reaches inside, the part of him nobody else touches, he'll start seeing you as more than a moment. He'll start seeing you as his safe place. Men crave that connection, even if they don't always say it out loud. He might be the strong, quiet type. He might be the busy, driven one. But at the end of the day, every man wants a place where he can drop his guard. When you talk to him about his dreams, when you remember what he told you 3 months ago, when you stand in his corner, even when the crowd turns on him, that's when you step into his heart. That's when his mind starts playing you on repeat like his favorite song. It's not about doing everything for him. It's not about losing yourself in the process. It's about connecting with who he is on the inside. Because you can give a man the prettiest woman in the room, but if she can't meet him where he is emotionally, he'll feel alone even with her right there. But give him a woman who sees past his job, past his tough day, past his armor, and suddenly she's the one he can't stop thinking about. And don't think that connection means agreeing with everything he says. No, no. A strong emotional bond comes when you can challenge him without tearing him down, when you can tell him the truth without making him feel small. A man who respects you for that will listen to you over anybody else because he knows you're speaking to help him, not hurt him. That kind of trust, it's rare. And once you have it, you don't lose it. Let me put it this way. Attraction might bring him to the door, but connection is what gets him to move in. He'll look at other women and admire their beauty, but his mind will be back on you. The way you make him laugh when he's stressed, the way you believe in him when he's doubting himself, the way you bring peace into his storm. That's the kind of thing you can't compete with by just having a nice body. So if you want a man's mind to desire you more than his body ever could, you got to give him something deeper, something that can't fade with age, can't be replaced by the next pretty face, can't be taken away by time. That's emotional connection. And once you have it, you're not just another woman he's met. You're the one he keeps, protects, and treasures because you got the one thing nobody else gave him, a place to rest his soul. Let me tell you something most people get wrong about love. They think it's all about chemistry, sparks, butterflies in the stomach. And sure, that's cute in the beginning, but let me tell you the truth. What makes a man stay, what makes him keep wanting you year after year is respect and admiration. You can be the finest thing walking, but if he doesn't respect you, that desire is going to fade faster than cheap perfume. See, respect is a whole different ball game. Respect is what makes a man sit up and take notice of you in a way that goes beyond the physical. A man can be attracted to a lot of women, but the one he admires, oh, that's the one he invests in. That's the one he'll listen to, the one he'll fight for, the one he'll protect, because in his mind, respect is tied to value. And if he values you, he's not going to risk losing you. But here's the thing. Respect isn't something you can beg for or demand. It's something you carry. It's how you speak about yourself, how you carry yourself, how you treat yourself when no one's looking. It's the standards you set and the boundaries you keep. A man sees that, and trust me, it registers. When he realizes you won't let him or anybody else treat you less than you deserve, that's when admiration kicks in. And admiration, that's the secret sauce. Because when a man admires a woman, his desire for her grows in ways that aren't just physical. He starts looking at her as an equal, a partner, someone who challenges him to be better. He stops thinking of her as just his woman and starts seeing her as the woman, the one he measures everybody else against. And that's when you've got his mind, his loyalty, and yes, his body all locked in. Now, some people think respect means being hard, being unapproachable. No, no, no. Respect isn't about building walls. It's about showing the world you have value and you won't sell it cheap. It's about kindness with strength, grace with backbone. It's about being able to say, I love you, and still say, but I won't tolerate that. And believe me, when a man sees you stand firm in your values, even if it means risking the relationship, he can't help but admire that courage. I've seen men who thought they were players hang up their jersey for a woman who carried herself with dignity. Not because she played games, not because she manipulated him, but because he looked at her and said, I can't lose her. And when a man says that to himself, that's when the real desire begins. It's not about chasing something new. It's about protecting what he already has. And ladies, I want you to hear me on this. Admiration isn't built just on looks or charm. It's built on how you live. It's how you handle your business, how you speak about people, how you push through your challenges. A man watches how you react when life hits you. He notices if you crumble under pressure or if you stand tall. He notices if you encourage him when he's down or if you kick him while he's low. And the more he sees your strength and your heart working together, the deeper his respect becomes. Once that respect is there, the physical attraction doesn't go away, it actually grows. Because now he's not just attracted to your face, your body, or your style. He's attracted to your character, your courage, your integrity. You become more beautiful to him with every situation he watches you handle. And that's the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with age. When a man truly respects and admires you, he desires you in a way that's not just about passion, it's about purpose. He desires you because you inspire him. You lift him higher. You make him want to be worthy of you. And when that happens, you'll notice something. You're not the one chasing his attention. He's the one making sure you know every single day that you're the most important woman in his life. Confidence and independence are like magnets to a man's mind. They pull him in a way that beauty alone never could. A woman who knows who she is, who walks in her own lane, and who doesn't apologize for it is unforgivable. She doesn't need to scream for attention or prove her worth. She just lives it, and it speaks louder than anything she could ever say. That kind of presence makes a man's curiosity grow because he sees someone who doesn't rely on him for her identity, yet somehow makes him want to be part of her world. When a man meets a confident woman, he notices right away that she's not waiting for him to decide her value. She's already decided it herself. She doesn't shrink back when life gets tough, and she doesn't fold when someone doubts her. That strength tells him she's someone who can stand by his side, not behind him, not beneath him, right there with him. And that's when his mind starts racing, wondering how deep her strength runs, how far her vision goes, and what it would feel like to share life with someone like that. Independence doesn't mean she doesn't need anyone. It means she chooses who she lets into her life. A man respects and desires a woman more when he knows she's not with him out of desperation, but out of choice. That choice gives her power, and that power makes her attractive in ways he can't even explain. He knows she can handle her own business, manage her own dreams, and stand on her own 2 feet, yet still be soft enough to let him in. That balance between strength and openness is rare, and it leaves an imprint on his thoughts. A confident, independent woman moves differently. She's not chasing approval, so she doesn't play games to get attention. She's not worried about being replaced because she knows her value doesn't depend on whether someone stays or goes. That calm energy drives a man crazy, not in frustration, but in fascination. He finds himself wondering what it would take to win her time, her trust, her heart. And when a man starts thinking like that, his desire shifts from surface level attraction to deep, invested pursuit. Confidence also changes the way she communicates. She speaks with purpose. She listens with intent. And she doesn't shy away from speaking her truth. She can be kind without being a pushover and firm without being harsh. That kind of clarity in a woman is magnetic because it tells a man she's not here to waste her time or his. It makes him feel like if she's choosing to give him her energy, he's got something worth holding on to. The beauty of independence is that it creates a life worth sharing. A woman with her own goals, her own passions, her own rhythm brings so much more to a relationship. She doesn't just sit back and wait for him to create the whole life. She's already building hers. And when those two lives come together, it's not about filling empty spaces. It's about multiplying joy. That's the kind of partnership a man can't stop imagining because it's rooted in strength, not need. Men are naturally drawn to challenges that feel worth it. Confidence and independence present that exact challenge. It's not about making it hard for him just to play games. It's about showing that your heart and your time are valuable and only someone serious will get access. That unspoken standard makes a man step up. It makes him want to be better, to be consistent, to be someone you can actually rely on. And the more he works for that, the deeper his investment grows. When a man sees that you're whole without him but still want him, it does something to him. It tells him you're not there because you have to be. You're there because you choose to be. And that choice, backed by your confidence, your independence, and your sense of self, is what keeps his mind hooked. He won't just think of you as the woman he's attracted to. He'll think of you as the woman he can't stop admiring, respecting, and desiring in ways that last far beyond the physical. Genuine communication is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to creating a bond that lasts. It's more than just talking. It's about truly understanding and being understood. A man might be drawn in by what you look like, but it's the way you make him feel heard and the way you listen that makes him want to stay. Real communication creates safety, and safety creates connection. When a man feels safe with you, his guard drops, his truth comes out, and his mind starts to see you differently, not just as someone he's with, but as someone he can trust with the parts of himself he hides from everyone else. So many relationships fail because people talk, but don't communicate. They listen just enough to answer, not enough to understand. But when you give a man your full attention, when you listen with patience instead of judgment, it's like you're telling him without words, you matter. What you feel matters. I see you. That's powerful. That's how you touch his mind in a way that's deeper than any compliment or physical gesture. Real communication also means honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. It's easy to talk about the good stuff, but the truth gets tested in the hard conversations. A man respects a woman who can be truthful without tearing him down, who can correct him without making him feel small, who can speak her needs without attacking his character. That's emotional maturity, and it makes him admire you in ways he didn't expect. He sees that you're not just there for the fun, you're there for the growth. Genuine communication isn't just about words either. It's in your tone, your timing, and your body language. You can say the right thing the wrong way and lose the message. But when your words and your heart match, he feels it. He can sense you're not playing a role or giving rehearsed lines. You mean it. And in a world where so many conversations are shallow or distracted, that kind of sincerity stands out. Men crave a space where they don't have to guess what you're feeling. They want to know where they stand, and they want to feel like they can tell you where they stand without paying a price for it. When you create that kind of space, the connection deepens. It's no longer just about physical attraction or shared activities. It becomes about emotional partnership. And when he feels like you're his partner in understanding, not just in rent-free in his mind. One of the most underestimated parts of communication is asking questions and actually caring about the answers. When you remember what he told you months ago, when you check back in on something important to him, when you show him that his words stay with you, he feels valued. That's the stuff that makes him think about you when you're not around. That's the kind of attention that's hard to find and even harder to forget. Good communication also builds trust over time. Trust isn't just given, it's earned through consistent honesty, consistent listening, and consistent care. A man who trusts you with his thoughts will eventually trust you with his dreams. And when he trusts you with his dreams, you're no longer just someone in his life, you're part of his vision for the future. That's when desire shifts from temporary to permanent. At the end of the day, genuine communication turns love from a moment into a movement. It makes the connection unshakable because even when feelings get tested, the truth holds everything together. And once a man experiences that kind of connection with you, there's no going back to shallow conversations or surface level attraction. You've given him something that lives in his mind, something that keeps him coming back, not because he has to, but because no one else makes him feel that understood. When two people share the same vision and values, it creates a bond that's stronger than attraction alone. Looks can fade, excitement can change, but when you see the world through a similar lens and you're working toward the same kind of future, that connection becomes hard to break. A man might be drawn to someone because of personality or chemistry, but what makes him truly invest is knowing you're headed in the same direction he's going. That's when you're not just someone he enjoys, you're someone he can build with. A shared vision means you both have an understanding of what matters most. It's not about agreeing on every little detail, but about having the same foundation for the life you want to create. If he's dreaming about building a family and you're dreaming about building a family, you're aligned. If he values honesty, loyalty, and kindness, and you carry those same values, you're aligned. When that alignment happens, his mind starts to see you as a partner for the long run, not just someone for the moment. Men think about the future more than they sometimes admit, and when they meet a woman who not only fits into that picture, but also helps bring it into focus, she becomes unforgettable. She's not pulling him in a different direction. She's walking alongside him toward the same goal. That kind of unity creates peace, and peace is something every man craves deep down. When he has that with you, it's like finding solid ground in a world that keeps shifting. Shared values also make decision-making easier and disagreements less destructive. If you both believe in the same principles, you're less likely to fight over things that can tear couples apart. And when you do disagree, you'll work through it with the same ultimate priorities in mind. That ability to navigate life together without constantly clashing over what's most important makes him respect you even more. Respect turns into trust, and trust turns into commitment. A man also invests more when he sees that you're not just talking about your values, you're living them. If you say you believe in honesty, but you're not afraid to tell him the truth even when it's uncomfortable, he sees that. If you say you believe in hard work and he watches you stay committed to your goals, he sees that too. It tells him you're consistent, and consistency is one of the most attractive qualities to a man who's thinking about building a life with someone. The vision part is equally powerful. When you can talk about the future together, not in a way that's forcing him, but in a way that naturally fits, it sparks his imagination. He starts picturing what it would be like to share victories with you, to face challenges with you, to grow old with you. And once he's imagining that, he's already halfway invested. You've given him a reason to think long term, and men don't easily walk away from someone who fits into their long term plan. Shared vision and values turn a relationship into a team effort. It's no longer about two separate people trying to balance their individual goals while staying together. It's about combining forces to build something better than either of you could alone. When a man feels like you're not just with him, but for him, when he sees you fighting for the same things he's fighting for, his loyalty deepens. You become part of his purpose, and purpose is what keeps a man's heart and mind committed. Attraction might get his attention, but when you share the same foundation and future, you get his dedication. You're not pulling him into your lane or being pulled into his. You're creating a lane together. That's the kind of alignment that keeps desire alive for decades, because it's built on something unshakable. When the storms come, and they will, a man who shares your vision and values won't be looking for a way out. He'll be looking for a way through because he knows you're worth building the future you both believe in. Mystery and individuality are two of the most underrated forces in keeping a man's mind hooked long after the first spark. When everything about you is revealed too soon, the excitement fades. But when you carry yourself with just enough mystery, when there are layers to you that he discovers over time, his curiosity stays alive. That curiosity is powerful because it keeps him thinking about you when you're not around, wondering what else there is to learn about you. What new part of you he'll get to experience next. Mystery doesn't mean playing games or being distant. It means understanding that your life, your thoughts, and your dreams are not all meant to be handed over in the first few weeks or months. You let him in at a pace that's natural, giving him the gift of discovery. Each time he learns something new about you, it feels like he's unlocking another level of connection. That's the kind of excitement that doesn't just happen at the start. It can happen over and over again for years. Individuality is the other half of the equation. When you have your own life, your own interests, your own passions, you bring a freshness to the relationship that keeps it from feeling stale. A man's mind is drawn to someone who surprises him, who introduces him to new perspectives, who has stories and experiences that are hers alone. You're not just an extension of his world. You have a whole world of your own, and he gets the privilege of being invited in. This combination of mystery and individuality also creates balance. If you give everything of yourself away too soon, you risk losing that sense of intrigue. If you lose yourself completely in the relationship, you risk losing the spark that drew him to you in the first place. But when you hold on to your own identity while sharing your life with him, it sends a message. You're whole on your own, and being with him is a choice, not a need. That choice makes you more desirable because it means you're not there out of dependence. You're there out of genuine connection. Men are naturally wired to be curious, to explore, to seek. When you bring mystery into the relationship, you give him a reason to keep exploring you. And when that exploration reveals a woman who is confident in her individuality, he's not just attracted, he's captivated. He knows he can't predict every move you'll make. And that unpredictability keeps him engaged. Individuality also ensures you keep growing. Relationships can sometimes slip into routine, and routine can dull desire. But when you continue to pursue your own passions, achieve your own goals, and develop yourself, you bring new energy into the relationship. Each new thing you do or learn adds another layer to who you are, and each layer gives him something new to appreciate. His mystery keeps him intrigued. Individuality keeps him inspired. Together, they keep him invested because he knows you're not someone he can fully figure out in a short time. He'll keep wanting to know more, to be part of more, and to protect the space you've created for yourself. And the more he learns about you, the more he realizes there's always more to discover. And that's exactly what keeps the spark alive in his mind long after the first attraction. Mystery and individuality are like oxygen to long-term desire. Without them, the fire starts to burn out, no matter how strong it was in the beginning. A man might be drawn to you instantly because of your looks, your smile, or your presence. But if everything about you is revealed too soon, there's nothing left for him to explore. When you keep a little mystery, when there are layers he hasn't reached yet, his curiosity stays alive. And curiosity is powerful. It keeps him thinking about you long after you've left the room. Mystery doesn't mean you're cold or distant. It means you understand that not every part of you is meant to be handed over all at once.